Protecting America. See some of the new technology being used to make sure we all stay safe from more terrorist attacks.
Student pilots are facing serious scrutiny after a 15-year-old pilot crashed into a building in an apparent copycat of the September 11th attacks.
I'm Made on Your Side consumer editor Michael Gieser will tell you what one woman learned when she purchased solar screens. They went on a lot easier than they came off.
And a remarkable new treatment for migraines. See how a cosmetic surgery could help stop the pain. That's in tonight's Medical Breakthroughs.
You're watching Eyewitness News at 6 with Gary Waddell, Paula Francis, Kevin Jennison, and Dave McCann.
Just the knowledge or the thought that one armed Al-Qaeda member is loose in an area is a danger that makes all of the area dangerous.
The U.S. began its 4th month of bombing in Afghanistan today, while the search for members of the Al-Qaeda network and Osama bin Laden continues. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
I'm Gonzalez in for Paula Francis. Since the September 11th attack, security has been the #1 concern of everyone, from the federal government to local neighborhoods. Ahead, we'll show you some of the new Homeland security technology on display here in Las Vegas.
First, though, here's the very latest in the war on terrorism. The Pentagon released videotape today of a bombing campaign on a camp and cave complex in eastern Afghanistan. The bombing destroyed a major cache of weapons. 2 members of the Senate Intelligence Committee say there's a growing belief that Osama bin Laden has escaped to Pakistan. And the body of the first U.S. soldier to die from enemy fire in Afghanistan will be home tomorrow. As the war on terrorism continues, the government is considering new methods to help it wage a more effective fight.
One of those weapons is technology. Eyewitness News reporter Lisa Johnson joins us now to explain.
That's right. As a matter of fact, since September 11th, much focus has been on intelligence agencies' ability to monitor terrorist activity and keep our country secure. Now the government is considering new technology to step up its intelligence and security plans, and it's all being unveiled here in Las Vegas. Since September 11th, the battlefield of the future has changed.
I'm using a facial recognition system for computer access.
The Department of Defense is currently evaluating facial recognition scanners for airports.
Trying to find out if it is a strong enough tool to catch some people that are not being caught by the current systems.
FBI, CIA, and other intelligence agencies are meeting in Las Vegas for the first Homeland Security Expo to learn about the newest security strategies.
On the back of the card is a computer chip. This is known as a smart card. On this chip, you can store all types of information.
This computer chip ID card is used for security access, but it could soon become a national ID card for all travelers. Shared databases between all security agencies are also being developed.
Collaboration is important because you want to be able to bring databases from, let's say, the FBI, intelligence agencies, together with like a state database, put them all together and show how they match up or don't match up.
Right now, such database sharing isn't being used. Here's a case in point. For the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City, 80 people already hired have failed their security clearances. Database sharing would have prevented that. The main problem with implementing these systems is the cost. The federal government has allocated money for Homeland Defense, but states must battle for their fair share.
The governor's with the Attorney General to try to look at some of these issues, make sure that we can get access to as much of that new technology as possible to make sure we're as prepared as possible, that we can respond the best way we can to any type of terrorist activity.
So now the new federal office of Homeland Security must first settle the political battles between states hoping to click into the wealth of new technologies. Meanwhile, National Homeland Security Chief Tom Ridge has just canceled his planned visit to Las Vegas for this week. Ridge was supposed to join Senators Harry Reid and John Ensign to discuss Nevada's security. He was also scheduled to visit the Nevada test site, which is being considered as a possible location for a national counterterrorism school.
While we're waiting for that federal money, has Nevada been able to do anything on its own?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was speaking to the governor's aide, and we have a cybercrime unit that has been created that is using very sophisticated computer equipment to battle cyber terrorism. But the director of the governor's office told us while allocating money for Homeland Security, they must also consider funding for traditional safety concerns, wanting to make sure they have enough money for state-of-the-art equipment for our firefighters and police officers.
Okay, tough battle. Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
We have new information tonight about the small plane that crashed into a Tampa, Florida office building. A suicide note in 15-year-old Charles Bishop's pocket apparently praised the works of Osama bin Laden. On Saturday, Bishop flew a Cessna plane into the 42nd story building in downtown Tampa. Bishop's teachers say he was a bright, nice young man. Investigators are still looking into how Bishop gained unauthorized access to a plane. Local aviation officials say there are safeguards in place to prevent something like that from happening here. Eyewitness News is live. Colleen May is live at the North Las Vegas airport with more. Colleen.
Well, Polly, the entire aviation industry has been forced to step up its security since September 11th, and that's why local aviation officials say they think it's not only safe to fly, but safe to take lessons.
We're happy to be here, and I'm proud of him, and he's so into it and so excited that I'm just happy that he found something he's really involved in.
Barbara Holcomb says she supports her 15-year-old son Luke's desire to fly.
The teen years, he needs something to keep him occupied, and this is it. I mean, this is his life right now.
Not only that it's fun, but I want to start early so I can be a little bit more experienced.
Luke's dream to be a commercial pilot. He says neither the terrorist attacks nor this weekend's crash in Florida has made him change his mind. Local flight instructors say there are safety precautions in place to prevent what happened in Florida from happening here. The First Flight Aviation School keeps its planes chained up, locked, and the staff keeps an eye on the fleet from the office.
So a person can't just walk in, grab a key, and take off in an airplane.
Holcomb says she thinks about her son's safety, but she tries to keep it in perspective.
He'll be getting his driver's license about the same time he gets his flying certificate, so I don't know which one is a little bit more concerning in my regard. I think the driving, actually, I worry about more than the flying.
Now, you can be any age to take flying lessons, but you have to be 17 years old to get a private pilot's license. The FAA, among other things, requires a minimum of 40 hours of flying experience. I'm Colleen May, Channel 8 Eyewitness News, live.
Bright kid.
Yeah.
Thanks, Colleen.
Energy Secretary Spencer Abraham visited the Yucca Mountain Nuclear Repository site today, but not without Nevada politicians speaking out against his visit. The politicians don't want the federal government to think that other federal projects here could buy support for Yucca Mountain. Channel 8 Eyewitness News is live. Cindy Caesar's at the Yucca Mountain office here in the valley. Cindy.
Well, that's right. Nevada politicians didn't want to appear to be supporting the Yucca Mountain project by joining Secretary Abraham on his tour today.
We're going to make sure that Secretary Abraham is not successful. But if he is successful, the people of Nevada and this country should know that the fight has just begun.
And fighting that battle is a bipartisan united front of city, state, and federal politicians. They are against the Department of Energy's proposal to store 77,000 tons of radioactive waste from 36 states at the nuclear repository. The study of the Yucca Mountain project has already cost $7 billion. Now the federal government is considering creating an anti-terrorism center at the Nevada test site. But politicians felt they shouldn't join Secretary Abraham today on his Yucca Mountain tour for fear of sending the wrong signal.
We did not want mixed messages to go forward, like Nevada was somehow we'll take the terrorism center if you know for Yucca Mountain. We didn't want that, and so we wanted to make it very clear that we will never take any kind of benefits for taking the nuclear waste at the Nevada test or at Yucca Mountain.
As Lisa Johnson mentioned earlier in the show, Tom Ridge, the director of Homeland Security, was scheduled to visit the Nevada test site as a potential anti-terrorism center this Wednesday with Senator Harry Reid. That trip has now been canceled. Cindy Caesar, Channel 8 Eyewitness News, live.
All right, Cindy, thank you very much. Las Vegas Valley has something to celebrate. It's cleaner air. The valley has gone 3 consecutive years without violating the federal air quality standard for carbon monoxide. But before the EPA takes the valley off its list of areas with serious air quality problems, it will have to approve a clean air plan proposed by the state. When the valley is off the list of problem areas, it can get some much-needed federal highway money.
Mayor Oscar Goodman's State of the City ended just moments ago with the mayor shedding new light on many of the issues currently facing Las Vegas.
He talked about the accomplishments of the city, but also the problems facing Las Vegas, especially in the wake of September 11th. Eyewitness News reporter Carol Wilkinson joins us with the latest. Carol.
Well, absolutely, Gary and Polly. The mayor talked about the effects of September 11th on our economy, on the people who live here, on the jobless situation that's going on here. And the mayor also began his speech by touching upon the fact that Las Vegas is a great city and that he enjoys being its mayor. He also talked about a number of giant steps being made here, like the establishment of more Spanish-speaking programs and the building of more parks than ever before. But then the mayor addressed the issue he called the tough one, the homeless problem in Las Vegas.
In order for us to be a first-class city, we can't allow the situation to exist out there as it presently does. It's shameful, and it's all of our responsibilities. It's the private sector's responsibility, and by setting up this charitable corporation, they'll be able to donate money, as one company has already come forward and done, and we'll be able to take that money and we'll be able to transition these folks back into a useful member of society.
Now, the mayor says that the city has given $100,000 towards the formation of a corporation to get the community and government involved in solving the problem of the homeless here in Las Vegas. And we'll have more on the mayor's comments and some of the solutions to the problems that we all face here in Las Vegas coming up tonight on Eyewitness News at 11.
Sounds good.
We'll talk to the mayor live in a few minutes.
Absolutely, you will.
Okay, thanks Carol.
If you're looking for Las Vegas government phone numbers in your new Sprint Yellow Page directory, you won't be able to find them, but you can find listings for New Mexico government offices. Channel 8 Eyewitness News reporter Tom Jones explains why.
The new 2002 Las Vegas Sprint Yellow Page directory includes a section called Bright Ideas. This is where you should be able to find a complete listing of Las Vegas U.S. government phone numbers. Instead, the government numbers are for the state of New Mexico. Customer Elizabeth Belmonte wonders how an error like that could go unnoticed.
It's ridiculous. I need Las Vegas numbers in the Las Vegas phone book. If I need New Mexico, I have no problem paying that charge to call them.
They're called Bright Idea pages. So we went to the Sprint offices to find out who got the bright idea to put New Mexico U.S. government phone numbers in a Las Vegas phone book. Sprint managers blame it on a printing mistake. We're told the government sent a file of phone numbers that were supposed to be for Las Vegas.
When we received the file that was marked Las Vegas, Nevada, it actually contained information for Albuquerque.
And the maps are wrong too, you know that?
No. That's right, the road maps in the phone book don't match up with the street index.
That's an error that I don't know how it occurred.
Sprint won't fix the errors until a new phone book comes out in the summer. Until then, Elizabeth Belmonte says Sprint might as well send the phone book to New Mexico.
My fingers walking through this does me no good for Las Vegas.
Not if you're looking for Las Vegas government phone numbers. Tom Jones, Channel 8, Eyewitness News.
And Sprint says the correct Las Vegas government numbers are in the white pages, and managers say you can keep your government listing from your old yellow pages. Notices will be included in your phone bill about other places to get the correct phone numbers.
Construction project on I-15 is forcing some changes near Charleston and Sahara. The Charleston off-ramp from I-15 southbound is closed now, and the Sahara Avenue exit has been changed. Now the exit starts just after the Charleston exit ramp, about a half a mile from where it used to start. There's also a concrete barrier being used to divide the exit from the rest of the traffic on the freeway, so be careful in that area. Another place you might want to be careful, US 95. It's stacked up a bit tonight. Joining us with tonight's Eye on Traffic, Channel 8 traffic reporter Kyla Grogan. Kyla.
That's right. Everyone seems to be figuring out I-15 now that we've given them some warnings, but let's take a look at US 95 northbound. Now you can see things coming out of the Spaghetti Bowl. It's pretty heavy traffic this evening, heading up until you get to Valley View. And then the good news is after Valley View, it is clear sailing on into Summerlin for those heading home. It's been a pretty good commute this afternoon. So far, no major accidents to tell you about. And of course, that's great news. Reporting from Chopper 8, Kyla Grogan, Channel 8 Eyewitness News Live.
All right, Kyla, thank you very much. If you are planning a big purchase, Channel 8 consumer editor Michael Gieser will be in to show you how to protect yourself on those big ticket buys.
And people who have them know the debilitating pain of migraines, but now there may be an unexpected treatment for those horrible headaches. We'll show you coming up in tonight's Medical Breakthroughs.
First out, Kevin Janison checks in with our first look at the weather. Kevin.
All right, Gary, thank you very much. Yeah, we had a pretty nice afternoon today. Lots of sunshine and mild temperatures, but won't quite be the same story tomorrow. We'll tell you what's changing and how long to expect the change. Plus, we'll look at all your neighborhood weather. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes. Eyewitness News will be right back.
You're watching Eyewitness News with Paula Francis and Gary Waddell.
Solar screens have become popular in the valley to protect against the effects of heat and sun damage.
When it comes to protecting your rights, though, one woman learned the hard way that you need to put everything in writing. 8 on Your Side consumer editor Michael Gieser joins us with the story. Mike?
Yeah, it seems easy enough to speak with someone on the phone, but the real answer is you must put a request for a refund in writing. That's what Karina Campos of North Las Vegas found out when she tried to get her money back after buying solar screens for her new house. At first, Karina Campos thought buying solar screens for $1,600 sounded like a good idea. She still does, except just after purchasing them, her grandmother became ill. Realizing she needed that money to send back to California, she called the Pacific Solar Screen salesman whom she bought the screens from.
He said that he was very sorry, but there was nothing I can do to cancel the order. I said, well, on your contract it says I have 3 days to cancel. He said, yeah, but that's before we actually make them. And since we already have them made, I said, but I just spoke to you yesterday.
The contract actually states, may cancel this transaction at any time. We spoke with the manager of the company who admits Karina spoke with an employee of the company. But Sean Dibdahl says Karina never submitted a request for a refund in writing. And that, according to Patricia Jarman Manning, is where Karina went wrong.
First of all, the law states that a door-to-door sale over $25, the consumer has 3 days to rescind that order. However, you have to do that in writing.
Karina says she just moved from California and had no idea that was the law.
The burden of proof becomes that of the consumer. No longer can you say I was ignorant of the law, I was ignorant of my rights.
A tough lesson to learn.
Every day that I see them, all I see is $1,600 up on my wall that I could be sending to California to my grandmother.
All Karina could do was dispute the charges with her credit card company. That is until 8 on Your Side got involved. After we spoke with management from Pacific Solar Screens, they agreed to give Karina her money back if she would return the screens, which she gladly did. Another case solved, but the lesson here is Pacific Solar Screens was legally right, and they wanted to uphold their reputation in the community, which sometimes businesses have to do. And so in the end, everyone seems happy. Karina has her money back, the company is happy, and 8 on Your Side is happy.
But it says may cancel this transaction at any time.
That's exactly what the contract said, right, and you would think the company would have to live up to that. Instead, the law of Nevada says that you have to put it in writing, but again, we should point out here that Pacific Solar Screens did refund the money, and of course, they want to uphold that reputation they have.
Very nice.
Hey, if you want to reach us, you can call 650-1908, or you can log on to KLASTV.com.
All right.
Thanks, Michael.
You bet.
When you go to a plastic surgeon to erase those unwanted lines from your forehead, the last thing you might expect is relief from a debilitating condition. Now, migraine sufferers who undergo cosmetic surgery may leave with more than a new face. Paula Francis explains.
A new life, a miracle, and a cure. Feedback from patients that may sound extreme for a plastic surgeon, but it's not for Baman Gorian.
I can't tell you how often I walk in the room. The next remark is also almost like a broken record. You have changed my life.
After removing the muscle between the eyebrows to smooth a patient's skin, Dr. Gorian discovered a surprising benefit.
I asked her, how are you doing? Her answer was, not only I feel good about my forehead, where we had done the surgery, my migraine headaches have gone away.
Neurologist Tarvez Tucker say it may be the treatment patients and doctors have been waiting for.
It's exciting because up until this point we have had very little to offer those patients, and now we have a promise of, if not a cure of their migraines, a significant reduction in the migraine severity and frequency.
Terry Shank spent nearly 20 years suffering with migraines.
I sometimes really wished I would die rather than live like that.
Today, she's a different person.
Before, I had, in a year, 75 to 100 migraines, and now I have none. None. Isn't that amazing?
It's feedback Dr. Gorian never gets tired of hearing.
It has made my medical practice even more fulfilling than it has been so far.
Paula Francis, Channel 8 Eyewitness News.
Currently, researchers at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland have started a study of 200 patients. To be eligible for the surgery, patients must have moderate to serious migraines which do not respond well to medications. If you'd like more information about this treatment, send us a self-addressed stamped envelope. Make sure to write migraine relief on the front. You can also find information on our website. A new report shows a possible link between the amount of infectious agents in a person's blood and their risk of dying from heart disease. Doctors looked at everything from cold sores and flu viruses to viruses that cause sexually transmitted diseases. Researchers found the more viruses a person is exposed to, the more likely they were to die from heart disease. And that's tonight's Medical Breakthroughs.
Polly, thank you. Kevin is here to tell us all about what's going on. Started out cloudy today, but then it got nice.
And it was nice, and the clouds have come back. We've come full circle.
Haven't been out in a while.
Yeah, well, it's hard to see, too, because it's dark. But actually, when we have the clouds, we have a nice little glow from all the lights on the strip, and that's the case out there now. Let me begin, though, by showing you what happens when these warmer temperatures hit Utah. Some of the snow loosened up. These are just outside of Salt Lake City, and that big Cottonwood Canyon Road, which takes you from Salt Lake up to Snowbird there, had a little bit of an avalanche. It made it difficult to get through, but they cleared the roads pretty quickly. And if you're planning on doing any skiing at the Utah resorts, you should be able to get up there just fine later on this week. Let's come back home and we'll look at our sky. We had lots of high, thin clouds that gave way to the clearing, and then the high clouds came back. Here's one view with the strip there you can see. Oh, and then the second view, of course, a little closer. You can see those clouds coming in late this afternoon. Thicker and denser, and they're continuing to arrive tonight, and they'll be with us certainly tomorrow. Let's start with real-time neighborhood weather. We'll go down to Green Valley, Henderson, and the Green Valley, Wigwam, and the Green Valley Parkway at Bartlett Elementary. They're sitting at 55 degrees. We have that cloud cover, so the temperature's not going to be moving that much. Near Durango and Warm Springs, southwest part of town, a little breeze blowing there, 7 miles per hour. They're sitting at now 9. They're sitting at, and the gust is gone up. They're sitting at 53. Near Sahara and Nellis, it's also 53 degrees with absolutely no wind. And up near Camino El Dorado and Ann Road, it's 52 degrees. Other neighborhood temperatures, 55 on the Strip, 57 in North Las Vegas. It's 53 near Jones and Tropicana. Outside the valley, 46 warm degrees up on the mountain. The Pahrumsters check in at 54. Same thing in Boulder City. Highs today, look how many neighborhoods made it to 70 degrees. Some other neighborhoods stopped in the mid-60s. Outside the valley, 59 up on the mountain, all the way up to 73 in Laughlin and Prim. At McCarran today, the top temperature was 63. That is 7 above normal. 43 was the warm morning low. And around the country, the big story has to be the snow. Lots of it. In fact, in upstate New York, they were measuring it with a yardstick. A couple of feet falling just outside of Albany. Along the coast, though, snow played havoc with air travel in New York, Boston, even Philadelphia. We lose the flakes once we get past the Great Lakes. Most of the central part of the country, partly cloudy. It clears off, and then you can see the clouds along the horizon. These are the clouds that are moving into our sky right now. In fact, they're knocking on our door. The Las Vegas Valley, right about there, and we have some mostly thin clouds moving in now, but the thicker clouds are not that far away. In fact, the front right back here is moving very, very slowly, so it's going to take a while, probably 48 hours, to get this whole thing to push on through. So the clouds you see out there now, expect more of them here for the next couple of days. Tonight, though, we'll watch the clouds pile in, stack up, and hang out. 45 for the low temperature. Not much wind tonight or tomorrow, for that matter. Mostly cloudy, but the temperature will stay mild with a high in the mid-60s. And a look ahead up on the mountain, that should be pretty warm, too. 58 up there, morning low 30 degrees. This time of year, when the cooler air gets trapped in the valley, it's not unusual for Mount Charleston to be pretty close to us temperature-wise. And here's your 7-day forecast. Mostly cloudy on Wednesday. Sun comes out as we head toward the weekend. Good timing, huh? Highs will stay in the 60s and overnight lows generally in the 30s. Pretty nice looking week here for now when we're entering the second week of 2002. We're going to keep this trend going. Perfect weather all year long.
Okay. We'll hold you to it.
Yeah, we're with you. We're with you on that one, no
Thanks,
question
Kevin.
about it. Dave's here. Tell us about the Running Rebels playing right now.
Yeah, they left town on a bit of a cold spell, hoping to heat up in Colorado. They're on the road, taking on the Falcons, and winning at Air Force is no longer an easy chore. Coming up, we'll give you an update on just how they're doing so far. Also ahead, the search for a new coach at Florida has their AD in Denver tonight, talking to this guy. Sports is next here on Channel 8. Runner Rebels are on the road at Air Force in their first conference game away from the Thomas & Mack Center. UNLV dropped a home game to Wyoming on Saturday, so winning tonight is almost a must. Lifetime against the Falcons, UNLV is 12-1. They are midway through the first half. UNLV has a 2-point lead. Lou Kelly made his first shot in 19 tries. Perhaps that's a good omen. We'll update you later in the have highlights tonight at 11. The Lady Rebels are home from a big win on Sunday at New Mexico, but their 9-point victory and 13-1 record is still not good enough to crack into the top 25. The strength of schedule is holding them back. The new poll has UNLV with 27 votes, which puts them about number 31. Coming up in 20 minutes, we'll have much more on UNLV's Super Sunday at the Pit. Steve Spurrier shocked the football world on Friday when he announced his resignation from Florida. Today, the former Gator coach explained his reason why.
I'm intrigued to see if our style of offense, my style of coaching, whatever, can be successful at the NFL level. So I need to find that out before I completely hang it up, before I call my last play. So hopefully, I think I'll get that opportunity here real soon. And that's about it. That's about it. Florida's going to be all right. Jeremy Foley will hire a good coach.
That new coach will not be former Gator assistant Bob Stoops. Stoops says he's stuck with Florida, but never really considered leaving Oklahoma. He's staying with the Sooners. He also denies a report that Oklahoma gave him a pay raise to stay in Norman. Stoops already makes $2 million a year. The search has now shifted to Denver, where Florida's athletic director is meeting with Broncos coach Mike Shanahan. Shanahan left the Broncos headquarters early this afternoon. He also canceled his weekly television show, which was to be taped tonight. Shanahan makes $4 million annually with the Broncos, but he has expressed interest in the Florida job. And let's finish up with the coaching news. The Carolina Panthers fired George Seifert today after losing 15 straight games to finish the season 1-15. You've got to know you're kind of in some rough water when you've lost 15 straight.
It's not a good record to ask for a raise on.
No, we'll see in a little bit.
Thanks, Dave.
There is more news straight ahead. The military is now in its 4th month of a bombing campaign in Afghanistan. Now some people are saying the prime suspect in the terrorist attacks is no longer in that country. We'll have the latest.
Congress is set to reconvene in the next few weeks. Former Senator Richard Bryan will be here to talk about what Nevada's new congressional seat means to Capitol Hill.
And your teenager may not be as safe behind the wheel as you think. See new information on teenage girl drivers and why they're getting into almost as many accidents as teenage boys. Eyewitness News live at 6:30 starts now.
You're watching Eyewitness News at 6:30 with Gary Waddell, Paula Francis, Kevin Janison, and Dave McCann.
Good evening. Thanks for staying with us. The Pentagon confirmed the bombing of a military compound and cave complex in eastern Afghanistan.
This is the 3rd time American warplanes have attacked the area. The Pentagon released the video of the bombing today. Pentagon spokesperson says the U.S. bombing campaign isn't finished. It's going to continue because al-Qaeda troops are trying to regroup in that area.
They are obviously widely dispersed. They are attempting to try to regroup so that they can amass for leadership and mischief purposes. But the numbers that I sense, that these are small numbers, and they're just trying to find each other and then, obviously, to continue their war.
1,000 U.S. troops are now being ordered to Cuba to build and guard a prison for nearly 350 captured Taliban and al-Qaeda fighters.
The president spoke about the economy after returning to Washington from a holiday break at his Texas ranch. The president met with members of his economic team and Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan today. The president says Congress needs to pass an effective economic stimulus package. President Bush defended his policy of cutting taxes. He says raising taxes would do more harm than good.
This nation.
President Bush also praised Greenspan's leadership of the Federal Reserve. Well, the president went back to work today in Washington, but Congress is a few weeks away from returning.
Here with more on what's ahead for the Congress this year, up on Capitol Hill, Channel 8 Eyewitness News political analyst, former Senator Richard Bryan. What's going to dominate the early portions of the session?
Well, I think we've just heard the economic stimulus package, and the issue is going to be framed as to which package, the president's or the one that Senator Daschle announced last week, is the right way to go. There'll be some recrimination as to who spent the surplus, and the Democrats will frame the issue that the tax cuts the president pushed through earlier this year are responsible. The president will indicate its economic circumstances, the war, the recession, and other factors.
This is an election year. How will the issues change in Congress this year?
Well, I think that the issues change essentially to the benefit of the president and his party. The public generally perceives Republicans to be stronger on national security issues, where Democrats usually have the upper hand on the domestic agenda. And so the national focus has clearly been on Afghanistan. The president's approval ratings are off the chart. So I think that tends to favor the Republicans at this stage.
Very narrow margins for the political parties in both the Senate and the House. Nevada's going to get a new congressional seat. How's that going to shape up?
Incredibly narrow. A single seat would change control in the Senate, a change of 6 in the House. Most congressional districts are not really competitive, Gary. They are in districts that are either heavily Democratic, in which case there's not going to be a change, or heavily Republican. The new congressional district in Nevada is a swing district. The registration is evenly balanced. It's a new district. There's no incumbent, so it's a jump ball. So I think you're going to see a lot of national focus, both by Democrats and Republicans, on this new congressional district in Nevada.
See a lot of hard-fought political campaigns.
Well, we are. We are going to see that, and it's not just a Nevada issue. It becomes an issue of who controls the Congress, and so you're going to see the heavyweights from both parties frequently here in southern Nevada between now and November.
All right.
Thanks, Senator.
Thank you very much.
Government intelligence agencies are in Las Vegas to talk about new Homeland defense strategies.
Here's the latest now on tonight's top stories. The agencies are discussing new technologies like facial scanning and ID cards can help protect Americans. However, these new technologies are costly. While federal money has been allocated for Homeland defense, states will have to bear some of the costs.
While investigators try to figure out how a Florida teenager gained unauthorized access to a plane and crashed into a building, local aviation officials say there are safety measures to prevent that from happening here. The First Flight Aviation School at the North Las Vegas Airport locks its planes down. Certified flight instructors also supervise student pilots at all times. One flight instructor says the incident hurt the industry.
Nevada's senators are speaking out about Energy Secretary Spencer Abraham's visit to Yucca Mountain today. Senators Reed and Ensign say they didn't join Abraham because they didn't want to give the impression that they support the project at Yucca Mountain. Senators were scheduled to tour the Nevada test site with Homeland Security Director Tom Ridge on Wednesday, but Ridge has now canceled that trip. Well, as we told you a few minutes ago, Mayor Oscar Goodman has just concluded his annual State of the City address.
In it, the mayor talked about everything from security to downtown development. The mayor joins us live from the Charleston Heights Arts Center. And Mr. Mayor, thanks for talking to us.
Hi, Gary and Polly. How you doing?
You were talking about the homeless problem at one point, and you said it's one of the most critical situations facing facing Las Vegas at this time. Talk a little more about that.
I believe that we have a serious problem as far as the homeless are concerned, in particular those who are mentally ill, who really can't help themselves. And many years ago, of course, the state mental facilities closed down as a result of economic pressures, and no one ever picked up the slack after that. We have to take care of these folks and make sure that we get them back into society after medicating them, getting them to group homes and the like, and we can do that. The ones that I'm having a terrible quandary about are those who are able-bodied, who are of sound mind, who really should be part of the workforce and live a conventional life. And they like being homeless. They don't like following the rules. They like their drugs. They like their booze. They won't go into the facilities because they're afraid they have to give that up. And I've got no use for those folks. And they're the ones that I'm trying to get the answer for as to how to get them out of town. Because right now, if you go down to that homeless corridor, it's shameful. They're living in tents, they're defecating, they're urinating, they're living so they shouldn't be in a city of our magnitude here, and we've got to get an answer for that.
Mayor, you were part of the United Front today against Yucca Mountain, and the city's pledged $100,000 to help the state fight Yucca Mountain. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Okay, the governor was here tonight, and I appreciate his joining me, and I promised that the city would work very closely with him. I'm going to go back to the Conference of Mayors in Washington later on this month and talk to all the mayors along the route where this high-level nuclear waste is proposed to go and get them on our side, because it's so dangerous now after the events of September the 11th to think that there might be some terroristic attack on the transportation of this. So we've got to really get everybody very, very alerted and get some numbers behind us on this. We pledged $100,000 to the governor's legal campaign. The city itself are preparing a lawsuit on behalf of our constituents, but we're going to help the governor out in his quest to make sure that Yucca Mountain never becomes a reality as far as being a repository for this carcinogenic nuclear waste.
Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for being with us. We'll have more on your speech tonight at 11 o'clock.
Thank you very much. I'll probably be asleep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
One Las Vegas man is in critical condition and another is in serious condition after a shooting over the weekend. Police say it happened around 11 p.m. last night on Maryland Parkway, just south of Stewart. A suspect shot one man in the chest and the other in the face. Both men were able to walk to a nearby 7-Eleven for help. Police say both men are refusing to identify the shooter. A trial date has been confirmed for the man accused of hitting a Nevada Highway Patrol officer. Cornelius Phillips is accused of running down Trooper Bobby Kinsel last April. Kinsel is still recovering from his injuries. In August, a judge denied Phillips' request to throw out his case. A pretrial date is set for April 24th. Jury selection in the trial will begin April 30th.
A 911 call led Metro Police to a gruesome discovery this morning. Police responded to a report of a dead body in an apartment complex in the 1300 block of South Casino Center Boulevard. Police found the body of a Hispanic male, approximately 30 years old. They say the man appears to have been severely beaten. Anyone with information on the victim or who may be responsible for the death are urged to call police or secret witness. A new study shows that teenage girls are nearly as prone to getting into accidents as teenage boys. Data released by the National Transportation Safety Administration shows that the number of crashes for 16-year-old girls increased in the past decade from 160 per 1,000 drivers to 175. The crash rate for 16-year-old boys dropped from 216 per 1,000 drivers to 210. As a result, insurance companies are starting to close the gap on rates charged between teenage girls and teenage boys.
The most at-risk group when it comes to traffic fatalities. More teenagers get killed around the United States than any other age group. So that's something for the teens to think about. It can happen to them.
The report found that while the rate of 16-year-old girls getting into accidents is increasing, it is not the same for 17, 18, and 19-year-old girls. Teen boys, they say, continue to drive aggressively even after several years of experience.
Car sales jumped last year, but profits didn't. Coming up on Channel 8 Eyewitness News, what experts are forecasting for the year ahead.
And in tonight's 8 Online, I'll have a first look at the latest Apple computer.
Car manufacturers are displaying their new products at the North American International Auto Show in Detroit this week, coming off the second best sales year in history. Many auto experts are predicting a drop in sales in 2002, and they also say sales may drop by more than 2 million. Ford is expected to announce major cutbacks this week. Automakers say they hope to buck the predictions and keep Americans buying.
In tonight's 8 Online, Apple computer co-founder Steve Jobs unveiled the new iMac today. The big debut took place at the Macworld Expo in San Francisco. There it is. The new iMac has a flat screen that swivels up to 180 degrees. The entire computer is contained in that small base. It took Jobs and his staff 2 years to create the new computer. It'll cost about $1,300. The technology industry is abuzz with talk about new trends for 2002. Companies are working to make portable devices that perform more functions. For example, this handheld device also functions as a cell phone. It connects you to the internet. Soon you may be able to send instant messages on the device. These two men put it to use on their drive to Las Vegas for the Consumer Electronics Show, which opens tomorrow morning.
We're going to have two people in the car driving 2,200 miles. Things need to be small and they need to be entertaining and or keep us in touch.
Consumers can also expect more security products like this device, which allows you to keep track of your children using a computer. Microsoft will not be able to delay its antitrust case another 4 months. Federal judge denied the request today. 9 states are suing the software giant. Microsoft says it needs more time to prepare its case. The company's lawyers say penalties requested by the states are making trial preparations difficult. The lawyers also claim some of the states' witnesses aren't cooperating with Microsoft. The trial is set to begin in March. And Polly, that is tonight's 8 Online.
Thanks, Gary. The skies in the valley may be a little less clear this week. Coming up on Channel 8 Eyewitness News, Kevin Jennison will tell us more about that and all your weather in your neighborhood. Car manufacturers are displaying their new products at the North American International Auto Show in Detroit this week, coming off the second best sales year in history. Many auto experts are predicting a drop in sales in 2002, and they also say sales may drop by more than 2 million. Ford is expected to announce major cutbacks this week. Automakers say they hope to buck the predictions and keep Americans buying.
In tonight's 8 Online, Apple computer co-founder Steve Jobs unveiled the new iMac today. The big debut took place at the Mac World Expo in San Francisco. There it is. The new iMac has a flat screen that swivels up to 180 degrees. The entire computer is contained in that small base. It took Jobs and his staff 2 years to create the new computer. It'll cost about $1,300. The technology industry is abuzz with talk about new trends for 2002. Companies are working to make portable devices that perform more functions. For example, this handheld device also functions as a cell phone. It connects you to the internet. Soon you may be able to send instant messages on the device. These two men put it to use on their drive to Las Vegas for the Consumer Electronics Show, which opens tomorrow morning.
We're going to have 2 people in the car driving 2,200 miles. Things need to be small and they need to be entertaining and/or keep us in touch.
Consumers can also expect more security products like this device, which allows you to keep track of your children using a computer. Microsoft will not be able to delay its antitrust case another 4 months. Federal judge denied the request today. 9 states are suing the software giant. Microsoft says it needs more time to prepare its case. The company's lawyers say penalties requested by the states are making trial preparations difficult. The lawyers also claim some of the states' witnesses aren't cooperating with Microsoft. The trial is set to begin in March. And Polly, that is tonight's 8 Online.
Thanks, Gary. The skies in the valley may be a little less clear this week. Coming up on Channel 8 Eyewitness News, Kevin Jennison will tell us more about that and all your weather in your neighborhood.
Neighborhood Weather is sponsored by Carina Corporation. We build the homes you see in your dreams.
Now to check in with Kevin Jennison, find out about the weather. Kevin.
Gary, mild evening in progress. That's one thing the cloud cover will do. We'll begin near Buffalo and Cheyenne at Eisenberg Elementary. Temperature is 54 degrees right now, humidity at 43%. No wind, that's the northwest part of town up there. In beautiful downtown Henderson, completely across the valley, 52 and still no wind. Don't see a whole lot of wind this week. Near Flamingo and Boulder Highway, it's 53 with a 1 mile-per-hour breeze. And up in Pioche, eastern parts of Lincoln County at the new school, it's 51 degrees. Pretty warm up there. It's 56 near Eastern and Charleston, 53 in Green Valley. Summerlin also coming in at 53, and it's 52 near Windmill and Paradise. 44 on the mountain, 48 in Sandy Valley. Searchlight is at 54 degrees, and Overton checks in at a cooler 43. Around the west today, how about some of these highs warming up somewhat? Phoenix hit 72, 50 in Cedar City. Denver hit the big 60, and downtown LA all the way up to 76 degrees. Around the country, it has been a very snowy day in the Northeast. In fact, all of that stuff with the cold air pushing over the Great Lakes. There was some pretty good snow in upstate New York, and then it wasn't too shabby, too, along the coast. Finally beginning to taper off somewhat, and they should be able to get the airports back on schedule, too. In the Pacific Northwest, yet another batch of rain, and some of the rain showers pretty heavy along the Oregon and Washington coast. It looks like the bulk of this system is going to stay to our north, at least the energy that would produce the showers, and we're going to get quite a variety of clouds, big clouds, little clouds, you name it, we're going to get all the clouds. They're going to come on through as the system continues to push on, and it's moving very, very slowly. So we think that these clouds, once they move in, will be not moving out very quickly. In fact, they'll probably be here through Wednesday until the system finally clears. So tonight, expect the clouds to continue to move on in. Look for a low temperature of 45 degrees with a light breeze. Then tomorrow, we'll call it mostly cloudy. We still think we'll get a few breaks in the clouds. Should still be mild, though, about 10 degrees plus above average. 65 the expected high. And a look ahead at your 7-day forecast. Temperatures will stay in the 60s on Wednesday. Still plenty of clouds. Now, on the back side of the front, the air will be a little cooler, but we'll get a little more sunshine, so it won't feel that much cooler. 59 the actual high. 61 on Friday, and Saturday not looking too bad either. In fact, that whole 7-day period, not looking too shabby. Of course, you can keep up with all your neighborhood weather online, KLASTV.com, or Gary, you know.
118.
You can call me, exactly.
24 hours a day. Kevin's up all the time now answering
your calls. Absolutely.
We're trying to keep you busy.
Just don't ask him a follow-up question.
That makes sense.
Dave is here, and how are the Rebels doing now?
You know, the second game in a row now. They've actually started fairly well. They're almost at halftime in Colorado Springs. We'll give you an update on how they're doing so far. We'll also visit with the Lady Rebels, who are back home after a very big win Sunday at New Mexico. They're now 13-1. And we'll update you on the status of Big League Weekend at Cashman Field. Sports is next here on Channel 8. The Runner Rebels are on the road tonight, taking on Air Force. This is their second conference game where everyone but Air Force is yet to play one. They're playing pretty well so far. Just a few seconds before halftime, and UNLV enjoying a 27-20 lead. Their biggest lead has been 9. They're shooting the ball all right, and a lead at Air Force is good anytime you can get it. We'll have highlights of this one tonight at 11. If you're looking for a bandwagon to jump on, this is a good time to hook up with the Lady Rebels. For the first time since 1993, they're making some serious noise. Chris Matthews reports.
The Lady Rebels debuted in style, silencing the 17,000 rabid Lady Lobo fans with a 9-point win at the pit.
We're ecstatic about the victory. It's one of the most exciting things that I've ever experienced under those circumstances.
During Sunday's broadcast, Ann Myers paid the team the ultimate compliment, saying it's the best collection of Lady Rebel talent ever assembled.
A win here? Yeah. Wonderful.
Linda Frulich and Constance Jinks accounted for 70% of UNLV's offense. Last week, Jinks was named Mountain West Conference Player of the Week.
I call her Baby Jordan, you know, and just fun to watch, fun to coach.
Another fun person to coach is perhaps a Lady Rebels best ambassador, German native Linda Frulich, who today was named Conference Player of the Week, who, along with Constance, was named to the honor for the second time this season.
Awesome. Great person.
It takes a lot of great people to make up a great team. Now, UNLV may not be a great team yet, but their record speaks for itself.
13-1.
That's right, 1 loss in 14 games. There's another reason for UNLV's sudden rise to the top. It all starts with the head coach.
Love what I do, very competitive, want to be the best.
After Sunday's win at the pit, they appear headed in that direction. Chris Matthews, Channel 8 Eyewitness Sports.
Thank you, Chris. Regina Miller is doing a great job indeed. This is a big week for Major League Baseball and for Big League Weekend at Cashman Field. The baseball folks will begin their collective bargaining meetings tomorrow. Don Logan, president of the Las Vegas 51s, said by the end of the week, we're going to know if there's going to be a baseball season this year or not. If there is, Logan will go right to work on signing up teams for Big League Weekend for the last week of March. Logan says there's plenty of interested teams wanting to come here, but before anyone will commit, they want to see how things play out this week on the bargaining table. Hard to believe after such a great World Series that baseball might actually end, but they've done a lot of dumb things before.
Boy, I know.
So we'll see what happens this week.
Somebody's got to fix that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
Just ahead on Channel 8 Eyewitness News, we'll introduce you to a movie star skating his way to the top.
Coming up tonight on Channel 8 Eyewitness News Live at 11, we'll have a reaction to Mayor Oscar Goodman's State of the City address and his plans for Las Vegas in the coming year. And Microsoft Chairman Bill Gates kicks off the Consumer Electronics Show this evening. Hear what he has to say about the future of the industry in the wake of September 11th. Those stories and more tonight on Channel 8 Eyewitness News Live at 11.
A movie promotion had some kids in Arizona going ape today. Jack, a skateboarding chimpanzee, appeared in Phoenix today as part of a cross-country tour. He's promoting his movie, Most Vertical Primate 2, which will be coming out soon. In the movie, a young skateboarder becomes friends with the chimp. Movie producers say Jack is a natural skateboarder, as you can see. He learned how to skate in only 6 weeks. Oops. He's also a clown. Little drama there. That's tonight's Eyewitness News Live at 6. Entertainment Tonight is up next.
Balance there. Hope you'll join us again tonight at 11 o'clock. Have a nice evening, everybody.